Hey, welcome back to Ford University. In this video, I'm going to cover 7 sneaky ways that imposter syndrome is keeping you broke. I'm Juliet Ciaboto, Master Hypnotherapist and NLP Master Practitioner. This video is going to be divided into 3 parts. I'm going to first talk about what imposter syndrome is and where it actually stems from, and then the 7 ways that it's keeping you broke. So if you've been experiencing feelings of inadequacy in your career and business, keep watching. So what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is when you have feelings of inadequacy despite your accomplishments. So you can get all the degrees, get all the certifications, have all the money in the bank, and people can tell you that you're amazing every day, but you never internalize your success. And so you constantly feel like a fraud, or that you'll be exposed to be a fraud. Now, where does imposter syndrome come from? The source of imposter syndrome can be different, but oftentimes it is actually a symptom of trauma. So either intergenerational trauma, racial trauma, gender discrimination, or sexual discrimination based on your sexuality. And so oftentimes these feelings or this trauma that's based on your identity links to imposter syndrome, which is linked to you not believing you're this person. So you still see yourself as the child or as the teenager who was disadvantaged, who was bullied, who was put down, or who was told that they didn't deserve success, either consciously or subconsciously. So you hold on to this identity and this image of yourself as less deserving. So no matter what you do to become worthy, you never integrate that worthiness. So it stays outside of you, while the pain and the experiences that you dealt with stay inside of you and create a barrier for you to even accept the good that's coming your way. So let's talk about how imposter syndrome is actually keeping you broke, and then we'll go into how you can overcome this feeling. 7 ways that imposter syndrome is keeping you broke. Number 1, you're afraid or dislike working in groups because you're afraid that people will either expose you as being a fraud or unknowledgeable, or you're afraid that you will not be given credit for the work that you do. And this is because in the past, you may have not been given credit for all your accomplishments or the work that you do, or people may have put you down based on your industry or the work that you do now. So now you have this resistance to working in groups. And this is actually going to prevent you from really excelling within or going up the corporate ladder, because within corporate, teamwork is huge. And working well with others really determines whether you can lead others as well. And in business, this limits you in terms of networking, especially online business owners, like being able to host virtual summits, collaborating with other entrepreneurs on projects or launches. That can really take you far and save you a lot of money in terms of launching and promoting your products or services, especially when you're starting out. But because of imposter syndrome, you have this block to working with others. So you're never being seen as someone that can play well with others, let alone lead them. And then in business, you're just left in kind of like a dark, lonely corner of the internet, just posting and posting away without any collaboration. So it's important that you release imposter syndrome so you feel more comfortable interacting with others at work and within your industry, so you can actually grow. You overwork in order to feel worthy of the success that you get from a project. So whether it's at work or during a launch in business, you always have the tabs open, you're always answering emails, you're always launching, you're always doing all this stuff because you're worried that if you stop, the success will go away. Or if you don't work hard enough, you don't feel worthy of the success that you do get. And so it's important that you minimize the overworking or the stress that you're putting on yourself, because it's only going to lead to burnout. And then when you burn out, which I'm sure you're probably experiencing now or have experienced in the past, you notice that it sets you further back. So then you miss a launch or you take a week off and that sets you back for the quarter, or you miss out on opportunities because you're too tired to answer your emails because you've been answering them for 12 weeks straight. So it's important that you pace yourself and you review your projects in the past and see that if you cut your time in half, you would have been able to accomplish the same results. 3, you struggle to stick to one role, identity, or project even. And so what this does is limits you in terms of seeing full success in something that you do, or full focus, or giving your full focus on a project or business or job. So you go to your full-time job and you give about 65%, then you go home and work your 5 to 9 for your side hustle and you give about 40%. What if you were to give one of these things your all for a few months or even a year? Then you would have the time to then focus on something else. And it's okay to be multi-passionate, but a lot of people mistake being multi-passionate with imposter syndrome and this scattered focus. It's important that you understand multi-passionate means that I've completed several projects fully before moving on to the next one, not kind of like half-assing multiple projects at once, because then you just have half-assed results and a half-assed bank account. You downplay your success and you just attribute it to luck or at something else. And this is bad, because then that means that since you attribute it to luck, you don't attribute it to a framework or a particular method. And so if you don't track what you do to get this success, it's hard for you to repeat it over and over again, right? And so instead of being able to repeat this successful results over and over again, you then try to throw paint on the wall or try a different method, and you're constantly on this cycle to get that success again, when if you originally tracked your methods or your framework or the things that you did to hit this successful result, it would be then easier for you to repeat it and to then scale it. In addition, because you don't, or you downplay your success, you also end up downplaying others, which can lead to strained relationships. And building a relationship in your career or business takes you very far. So if you're not able to give people credit when credit's due, people won't do the same for you. Number 5, you become obsessed with people copying you or stealing your swag or stealing your ideas. And it gets to the point where you're paranoid about showing up and sharing your ideas in meetings, or you wait to the last minute to share it with others, or you're afraid of posting or showing behind the scenes of your business, or posting often, or anything in your business. You're kind of secretive, and that stress and secretiveness limits you showing up, limits showing your genius, limits sharing this energy of you being present, this energy of you being the one to be able to provide this service, provide this knowledge for either your ideal customer or within the organization. So this actually stems from you thinking that you're replaceable, that there is nothing really special about you or unique about you, so it's very easy to copy you. It's very easy to steal your ideas because they're not unique enough. It's very easy for someone to steal your copy or your designs or your brand aesthetic because it's not infused with you or your soul. So you should look at this as, one, you should realize that you are not replaceable. Just being you makes you special. There will never be another you, and there will never be anyone that's able to actually do something like you. You have your special twist, and that's something that cannot be replaced or replicated. You have to stand your ground in that. And so when you stand your ground in that, you'll be able to show up as your full self and stop limiting yourself and putting this block between giving, because giving is how you receive. Giving energy, giving tips, giving information, giving knowledge is how you receive. It's not two doors, it's one door. So if you're blocking the door and not giving, it's also blocking the door in terms of receiving that promotion, receiving that award, receiving more clients, receiving more likes, follows, and DMs. You need to open that door and start to give and share your ideas without the fear of anyone copying you or trying to replace you. Number 6, you start to compare yourself with anyone and everyone, even if they're not in your department, even if they're not in your industry. You just have a huge case of comparison-itis. And when you're too busy focused on others and what they're doing, that means that you're not focusing on yourself and how you can be growing and improving your brand, your work, the quality of your work, or your business, or even your clients. So you should be focused on serving versus competing, because when you focus more on your clients or your quality of work, that shows up and people can see the difference. And that is when you have very little to no competition, because no one can meet your quality because you're so focused on it, and no one can satisfy or meet the demands of your clients like you can because you're so focused on it. So it's important that you shift your focus to your work or to your clients versus your competition, your so-called competition. Number 7. Okay, so this might hurt, but you need to take all the courses, you need to take all the certifications, and you need to get all the degrees, only to get angry when someone with less qualifications or certifications or degrees gets something that you feel that you deserved. So this hits hard. And so then you go out to get more certifications or degrees and courses versus focusing on the actual subjects, focusing on the actual knowledge and applying the knowledge that you get. So if you're not applying the knowledge and you're constantly seeking more information, how are you earning? How are you actually contributing to the company in order to be rewarded? How are you actually contributing or helping your clients and applying the knowledge that you learned in order to be paid for your services? This constant cycle of trying to get more information, trying to get more certifications or awards in order to be able to hold yourself in higher regard than someone else is keeping you behind them, because while you're studying, they're actually doing and applying whatever information that they have. So yes, you may have a doctor in clinical psychology, but if you're not posting every day, if you're not getting referrals from your clients, getting them results, then you getting another degree isn't going to grow your practice. Yes, you may have gotten more certifications than the new person, but if they're able to build, the program faster than you and with less bugs, that's what matters to the company. So it's not really about degree, certification, or the letters behind your name. It's the results that are behind your name that matters. So you need to start to look at what you are doing versus what with the knowledge that you've accumulated. And so now that we've covered all 7 of the ways that imposter syndrome is keeping you broke, and also where it stems from, in order to overcome imposter syndrome, you need to heal. I know. Because when you look at where imposter syndrome comes from, it stems from something that happened either in your early childhood or in your teens, and that you're still holding on to either this belief or idea into adulthood. In the self-wealth activation, we have a series that goes through the layers of your mind to help you heal your inner child, to help you release the negative emotions and beliefs that were installed during childhood that lead you to perform these tasks of imposter syndrome. And not only imposter syndrome, but patterns of self-sabotage as well. And so when you're able to release your history, you can focus on the present and create your future and actually be there and present to enjoy it, versus worrying and feeling that you're inadequate or unworthy or you need more or to do more when you are already enough. You're enough. You deserve all the things that you want. You deserve to be able to do what you want. You just need to remember that. And with the self-wealth activation, you're able to get back that memory. If you want to test it out, I have a free workshop called Identity and the Brain. In Identity and the Brain, we go through so you'll be able to identify your specific blocks and the specific source of your type of imposter syndrome. So when you identify the source of your imposter syndrome, you'll be able to release that block. So you can join with the link below. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.